Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Maker. During the last part, I completed 6 levels. 1 was submitted by a viewer, and the other 5 I found by browsing Twitter using the hashtag MegaMaker. So in this part, I'll be completing at least 5 or 6 more levels. Now in this part, I got the selection of levels by searching through the level sharing subforum of the official Mega Maker forums. I randomly shuffled the random selection I already got just to make it a bit more random, so the level quality and challenge level will probably be all over the place. And I will leave some further comments to the individual authors of the levels I do complete later on. So first up is Boyoyon Badlands by Mixsup. 20 plays and a score of 11. That seems like a good start. This seems like a reference to Springman's stage team, which was Boyoyon Paradise. That was the musical track name officially. Also, as a quick disclaimer, my apologies if my critique seems a bit harsh. This is my first impressions of each level, so my critique, take it a little bit lightly because some of it will be a little bit biased because I'm playing it for the first time, so some of the difficult challenges may seem a bit more difficult than they really are, and vice versa. And all the critique I'm giving is so that we both become better level designers. After all, making good Mega Man levels is actually really challenging. Making good levels in general in platforming in any game is actually quite challenging, as it really depends on a whole bunch of different factors. Not to mention, of course, level quality, but it also depends on player preference. So keep that in mind that everything I say is dependent on what I think a good Mega Man level should be, but also dependent on my preference. After all, a lot of us understand or need to learn over time what the basic tenets of quality for a Mega Man game, for creating a good level is, but we all have our different preferences that are built up, and that'll also influence what are better levels and what we think good levels are. I learned this a lot during Mega Man Endless and Mega Man 1 and 2. Not to mention playing all the different Mega Man fan games. Each of them have their own styles and unique stuff. I forgot to check also, we have the Mega Buster, Shine, okay, a lot of stuff. That's good. And the challenge progression is fine. They introduced the Coltons in an easy fashion, not too difficult fashion, as well as all the tadpoles. So that's good. I'm gonna take the right route because I think it has some more stuff. I probably should be using more. Yep, it also had a E-tank. Good. I think I should be using special weapons more. After all, they really spice up the Mega Man experience and make it stand out compared to most other platformer shooters of that era. And the tile set is nice and consistent, that's good. And the level designer didn't go too crazy with all of the power-ups or all the enemies that could be there. The level difficulty progression is solid, and enemies are introduced in relatively safe environments and then in tougher configurations and combinations. We already saw this with the shield attacker, which was originally placed in just an easy room that we could jump over, and now we're in tighter and tighter rooms where we need to fight them. Which is nice. Solid difficulty progression makes playing 2D stages a lot more fun and less frustrating. I understand if it was a fortress stage, it's more justified, but still, I'm kind of running off the expectation that most of these stages are kind of like classic Mega Man levels, aka the Roadmaster stages or the intermediate stages. Unless it's explicitly mentioned like a challenge level, a hard mode, or a Kaizo level, I'll always expect there to be a solid difficulty progression where it introduces the gimmicks in a relatively safe environment and then puts them in harder and tougher configurations. The only exceptions are of course the aforementioned types of levels which are challenge, fortress stages, or Kaizo levels. And I'm liking how the enemies are actually placed on all these springy platforms, no wonder this is called Boyoyon Paradise. Sorry about that, I thought there was an odd sound effect going on. But otherwise the challenge level isn't too bad either. There isn't that much instant death or spikes I've seen either. So that's nice. Nice change of pace. Especially compared to 2 of the levels in the previous part, those being Battle Kid and the other one being... oh, I forget that. Whatever the Heaven's Tower was. Not Heaven's Tower, that Toadman stage with a lot of waterfalls. It's a nice change of pace compared to those. Also, as a quick correction, Battle Kid is actually a homebrew game. I corrected myself in the previous part, but in reality it is a homebrew game. I see what the challenge here is. I need to be careful so I don't end up destroying the platforms that I need to use in order to get across. But of course we have all these Coltons firing at us. Oh, and we have the combination of all these tadpole eggs and these springs, so I see where the challenge is coming from. And there's a solid placement of checkpoints too, so if I do end up dying, I'm not sent too far back. Plus, if we really want to, we can avoid most of these challenges by using the rush jet. I find it interesting that if the Coltons are jumping on the springs, they're propelled the max distance upwards. And this was about the same length as a regular Mega Man stage, so props to the developer for that. Although I don't mind longer Mega Man stages, as long as there are enough checkpoints. Okay, we have Toadman. Same AI as before though. So easy. Whoa, he does a lot of contact damage though. What is his weakness? Wow, he just two-shotted me. Well, okay, that's a good sign. That's an important sign that we need to kill him fast. Or make sure we don't do contact damage or get hit by his Toad Rain. Of course, it's the Elect Beam. What else would it be? After all, water conducts electricity. So that was a fun fight. And the springs here, as well as this environment, more jagged ground, makes it a bit harder to fight Toadman. Especially with the fact that Toadman deals a truckload of damage on contact. Definitely a thumbs up, and I quite enjoyed Boyoyon Badlands. Good job, Mixsup. Oh, and he made Titanite Tower. Which I think is another level on my list, if I ever get to it. Next up is Redrock Mine, with a score of -2 in 7 plays by Chiminon. This is not really the best sign, but oh well. I promised that I would play this level, so might as well. Thankfully there's no boss, but hopefully the stage itself isn't too bad. Now I don't mind hard stages as long as they have enough checkpoints, as well as them being a little bit... as well as them having enough checkpoints to compensate. Wow, the stage is a bit laggy for some reason. I think it's because it's too big. And we have the Sniper Joe here. At least we have Mega Man 6 charging physics, so I don't mind it too much, and we can slide. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to place the Sniper Joe over there, especially in an environment where we're forced to stop, but I don't mind it too much. The stage design isn't too jerkish. I just wish the lag issues were fixed in a future revision. I know it's due to large stages, but still, you could make even larger stages in the Megamol 2 engine and a few other engines, and it wouldn't lag this badly. I think that's due to a programming flaw or something, if you were to ask me. Probably need to subdivide the rooms into different segments or something. Okay, stage so far isn't too bad, it's not that challenging. Although there was a little bit of positioning there was a little bit of a problem with the fact that we had the Sniper Joes at the beginning, which kind of killed the flow, or made the stage a bit slower paced than what it usually be. Now I wouldn't mind Sniper Joes that much if they were like the later Mega Man Sniper Joes, who had less HP. Or if the stage was always the slower pace like we stop and go, but here it's a lot more quicker paced because after Sniper Joes you can run through it pretty fast. And I got killed there because I got the damage boost. I got knocked into those Sparkman platforms. I'm just gonna dodge. I'm just gonna jump over here. Well, oops, that was my fault of course. Because of not avoiding the fire bars correctly. I could jump over the Sniper Joe, but I'd rather just do it the other way. Or just take him out the classic way. I suppose in a future version, the developers will add other versions of Sniper Joes. This is certainly more on the challenging side, but it isn't too bad yet. I gotta be careful though, because getting squashed by the ceiling, it ignores my invulnerability period. Let's take the right route and see where it leads to. Oh, there's a checkpoint right over here for some reason. To be fair, it's in a relatively safe place, other than the spikes, of course, so I don't mind it too much. Oh, I see. Okay, I really wish it was introduced in a better fashion, but I don't mind it too much. Whoa, that was a bit too close there. I need the button mash, the quick slide button in order to get across. I can imagine this section being a lot more challenging if you didn't actually use the quick slide. Well, at least there's a large life energy over here, and we can just... and there's a checkpoint, so good checkpoint placement. Oh, that's not the best place to put a met there. I'll take the bottom route and see what's here. I wonder what's with all the junk platforms on the left, the ones that keep destroying but are off screen. Oh, so this leads to an E-tank. Well, I don't mind it. I meant to go to the right there. And all the junk platforms despawned for some reason. Never mind, they're still here, but they're just invisible. That was very... That was a very odd bug, because every other time I enter this, the junk platforms just disappear, but their collision's still there, and I can't destroy the collision. That's very strange. Okay, this loops back here. I think I'll just take a debt over here so I can actually get across faster. So I can actually get to the next part of the stage at full health. Still, I really appreciate the fact there's more checkpoints in between each of the more difficult segments. Always appreciate when the fan games do it. Like I said in the previous few parts, there should be checkpoints every 6 to 11 screens or 6 to 12 screens just like the classic games, with there being more checkpoint frequency with the tougher challenges like over here, with a lot higher chances of dying instantly to the Sparkman platform squishing you. As long as you pay attention, you should be able to get across fine. At least I think. I wonder... I think there's a secret over there that'll lead to an E-tank or something. Oh, there was a secret down there. My jump would have worked, but the screen slightly lagged, so it didn't work out the way I wanted. The batons are a little bit placed in a rather difficult spot to hit, though. Oh, these jumps are always a bit worrisome for me to make. Yeah, but Mega Man's movement is kind of stuttery, so it kind of makes going through these segments a little bit more challenging than what it's supposed to be. Well, at least there's a checkpoint here. Even if the stage is more difficult, it's offset by all these checkpoints, and the fact we have infinite lives, so I don't mind it too much. Let me see what's down over here, too. Another E-tank. Well, I do appreciate that the developer actually added some pathways off the beaten path, which we can take for extra E-tanks. And there's an easy way to loop back to where you were, too. So this is tied for being my favorite stage out of this part, tied with the previous stage. I don't really get why it's -2, I suppose it's because it's so difficult. But I don't mind it. The challenge progression isn't that bad. But I suppose another issue would be the lag issues that are present in the stage, unfortunately. Having a special weapon would also be nice. Once again, really appreciate the fact that we have frequent checkpoints. Let me backtrack a little bit because I did see something up there. Oh no, there's nothing there, it's just a large life energy. I thought there was a ladder or something. Oh, that was a bad idea. These fire bars punish you for going too fast, so I don't mind it too much, although there are a few too many tough enemies in this stage, specifically the Sniper Joes at the beginning. If it was reduced to one who was more easily dodgeable, it'd be fine. But otherwise, I do like the difficulty progression of this stage, but more specifically, I like the frequency of checkpoints to match the increased difficulty of the stage. Oh, they said there was no boss fight. Oh, I forgot, there is a boss fight. Oh boy. We have to be careful about Bomb Man because we have all these beaks firing at us. We have to be careful so he doesn't throw the bomb right at me, which he did over there. I think I'm just breaking his AI or something. As long as I keep his charge shot ready, and he doesn't keep jumping on into me, I can defeat him. He jumped just before I could actually fire the last charge shot, or fire the last shot. I should have just used the charge shot. There also should have been a checkpoint near the end, but it isn't too bad. Like, there's a perfect place for a checkpoint right in this room, so probably that'll be a upgrade. Let's try finding Bomb Man correctly this time. As long as I stay still, I think I'll be able to defeat him. But him jumping all over the place isn't helping matters. Okay, got him, with 1 bar of health left over. Like I said, I would have won the final fight if I actually charged up my Mega Buster correctly. And if he hadn't just jumped over me. But if I didn't stay around the left side of the room and jumped all over the place, this fight would be a lot more challenging because of all the fire bars at the bottom left and bottom right. And of course those beaks. I would remove the beaks just to make the fight a little bit easier, especially because the ceiling is also much lower than what you would usually fight a boss in, so... I still like this stage though, but it's certainly much more challenging, and I do appreciate the increased checkpoint density as I keep saying. Although there should have been an extra checkpoint placed just in the boss corridor, there was room for it after all. Next up is Castle Siege Breach by VorpalDude with 8 plays and 3 score. But I'm really liking the first 2 stages that I went through in this game. They're certainly much better than I certainly like them better than most of the stages in the previous part. Let's hope that this stage isn't as laggy as the previous one. Oh no, it is. We have Magnet Missile, Mega Buster, and Mega Man 5 or 6 Charge Shot. So we're going to breach a castle, I suppose, and we have all these fire bars. And we have all these beaks. I forget the exact name again. I forgot to check between this and the previous part. Well, at least we have Hammer Joes now. If anything, they are like the Sniper Joes, but with a lot less health. Or with 9 health, I suppose. And we have Nightman's team, fitting. I'm gonna take the left route and see what it has to offer. Oh, I see here. I need to take the outer... detonate the outer count bombs and then go on the lower ones in order to get back. But I do get an E-tank, which I can use for the boss fight. Okay, we have the tele-generator. Really liking the aesthetic of how we started outside and now we're inside the castle, in the waterways or something. Whoa, almost died over there to the bottom. Of course I could just deal with it more easily by using the Magnet Missile, but I think I need to save the Magnet Missile for the boss fight. We have all those Skeleton Joes over there now. Because I have a suspicion that the boss is going to be weak against the Magnet Missile. I will take care of the beats over here so I don't instantly get knocked into the pit or something. Especially with these footholders. Thankfully these aren't the footholders that shoot at me. Those are the green ones. But the non-smooth movement of Mega Man is kind of throwing me off, unfortunately. I see, so we have these challenge rooms, and if you're successful in each of these rooms, you'll get some extra goodies. I like this design, actually. It rewards the players who want an extra challenge. Or who are more skilled, I mean. Still, I wish the movement wasn't so non-smooth or a little bit stuttery. I suppose that will be fixed in a future update, as with most other bugs in this engine. Oh, and now we're in the water segment. It seems that we have multiple approaches to go into this castle, which I approve. It really adds to the replayability of these stages. In fact, I will replay the stage and get back to the point which splits off, I think. Whoa, oops, Alright, did it this time. But I gotta be careful though so I can actually make it across without hitting the top. It isn't too bad of a challenge though, or too difficult I mean, as long as you're careful. Let's get out of here and reach the checkpoint. We have all these hoppers and octopus batteries. And of course the skeleton Joes. And the big eye. I'm just gonna damage boost off a few. Okay, we're in the castle hold. I see where this path loops up. And we have the boss fight against Nightman. Of course, his weakness is the magnet missile. Figures. That was certainly a fun stage. Very unique, and I do like it has multiple pathways. I always approve when a stage actually has multiple pathways to go through. It really adds to the replayability. So let me play through this stage again and show off the other pathway. Alright, here's the first split path. Let's take the upper route this time and see where it leads to. I suppose this goes out of the castle and we take the upper route in order to break into the castle. And the bottom route just goes through the waterway and exits through that method, or gets to the boss from that way. And I do like each of these routes actually has their own enemies, like we have all these fire bars and hammer joes on the upper route, whereas the bottom we had all those beaks. Well, we do have the beaks over here too, but still, there are some variety in enemies. And now we're back in the castle. And I do like you can actually speedrun the stage if you really want to. Okay, this is where the stages loop back into each other, I think. And we can take the bottom route by just going down over there. Really liking how the paths loop into each other, so if you really want to, you can take another route in order to complete the stages. Like if I go down here, just as a demonstration. I'll get that, don't worry. Like if I go down here, this loops back right over here. This was the path I took earlier, so I'll just kill myself and get back to the earlier checkpoint and get that extra meme block. Alright, let's get these meme blocks this time. I've seen a lot of level designers add these in some their own way. So let's take the upper route this time. And like I said, I do like how you can actually switch between which paths you'll take in halfway through the stage. Like here we can continue to take the upper path, or go back down to the watery path if you really want to. And we're introduced to the elect beams here. Waiting for the elect beam to dissipate, and I'm going to go over here. And now we have the sky portion of the stage, whereas before we would have a water portion. Nice contrast. And my A button didn't work over there, because I was just walking off. Still, this is certainly one of my favorite stages of this part. Oh, I also forgot I actually have the magnet beam, or magnet missile. I probably should be using it more. Especially against these portals. Otherwise, the stage difficulty isn't that bad. I can get through it pretty easily, and I suppose less decent or less skilled Mega Man players can do the same. Whoa, that was close over there. The stuttering isn't really helping matters either. It doesn't feel like a smooth 60 FPS. And I do like that they actually give life energy just before you fight the boss. So we fall all the way down here, and we get to fight Nightman. I didn't mean to get right up to him though. And that's the end of Nightman again. I really enjoyed this stage. In some ways I would say I like it more than the previous two, mainly due to all the alternate pathways, proper usage of checkpoints, and nice gimmick introduction and separation. because there's a certain set of gimmicks for the top part and a certain set of gimmicks for the bottom part, or bottom pathway, and I do like you have the choice of switching between which pathway halfway through the stage and how it interconnects. It really feels like we're sieging a castle, either through the underground waterways or through the sky. Great work, VorpalDude. I would like to eventually try out Forested Frontline in the future. Next up is Where Is Everybody? Vertical Level by Maxpower, 28 plays and a score of 5. If the name is true, this is going to be a purely vertical stage, and the boss is going to be a Napalm Man. Boy, this was kind of a longer part because only 4 stages in and I'm at 28 minutes, or 25 minutes, depending on how I just cut the parts. I wonder if it's going to be a pure platforming stage or something. Oh, that was my fault. I may need to do quite a few cuts in order to get across. We do have charge kick and a whole bunch of special weapons though, so it's fine, I suppose. Oh no, it despawned. This is gonna take a few times, I suppose. Especially with all these spike drops, or spikes. Well boy, I have to be a little bit precisely placed so I don't fall in the pit there. Took a little bit of extra risk there in order to get the E-tank though. At least we have a section barrier. Thank you for putting a checkpoint there. Oh boy, this is one of those challenge stages. I don't think there are going to be any enemies. But now I have to jump on all these Yoku blocks in order to get across. I'm just gonna use the charge gate in order to pass this. This is a bit too scary. Oh, whoa. Thank goodness they're not instant death the instant death lasers. Ah. Okay, they're always gonna be there, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to do this quickly. This is bad. I really wish they despawned, actually. Alright, did it this time, and I didn't take any damage for some reason. Thanks for adding the checkpoint, I suppose. Now I need to get across all these spike platforms. And I failed this attempt. I do have the charge kick though, which I can use if in case of a pinch. I also realized though that I can't slide without using the charge kick. So they did think about that. Oh, now we have precise one-block slides. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'll have to end this stage. This is way too frustrating for me. And I already left my qualms in the previous parts about how the collision box's spikes in this game is a bit too it's too big for my part. I really don't like these types of precise stages, especially with these types of spike hitboxes. I used to play I Want to Be the Guy in high school, but I really don't look back at the game fondly. Maybe for those who really like to enjoy playing these more precise stages, but for me, I don't enjoy playing these types of these stages. I was thinking for something more like a Mega Man, but not an extremely hard level like this one. It's unfortunate, but I was expecting this to come. But this is harder than many of the other challenges I've ever gone through in Mega Man. The endless stages. I would dare say this stage by itself is harder than most of my experience during my Mega Man X hard type Let's Play, and that was a really hard one. This one feels even harder in several ways, especially because of that precise movement, and because this engine has really large feels like larger hitboxes or spikes, especially compared to other Mega Man games. I won't downvote this level, even though I didn't really enjoy it, but I suppose it'd be more enjoyable by somewhere else, so I'm going to basically skip it. After all, they did make Mega Mario, so I suppose that would be a nice fun thing to try out in the future. Also, I really wish it didn't just send me all the way back over there, because I would like to take a look at one thing and at least give the level justice and actually see how the level looks in the end. Alright, let's take a look at this. We go all the way up here. Then we have the spike segment, which isn't that bad. Then we have a precise jumping segment over here. Go over here, then we have to go through this segment. I was forced to use charge kick multiple times because I could never make this jump because of precision reasons. And same over here, although I probably didn't need to use charge kick. It's really on this jump where I never really figured out how to use charge kick, and so I couldn't make it, and I probably wouldn't have made it here either. But after this you could reach the M&E tanks, and thankfully there's a checkpoint here. Oh, and then we have a precise falling segment, which isn't that bad actually. Then we're taken right to the boss. And all of these enemies. Actually, just for the sake of it, so I can actually play through the last part of the stage, I'll just put Mega Man here, and see if I can just drop it. Let's put Mega Man over here, and at least try going through the rest of the stage and skipping past that portion. My apologies. I at least want to get through the rest of the stage legitimately. If not, well, I'll skip directly to the boss fight. Alright, I made it. Now it was actually easier than I expected it to be. Much easier than the previous segment. So now let's go through the enemy gauntlet of sorts, and actually complete the stage. It isn't too bad actually, especially with the fact that we can regenerate health from these enemies, or get random health drops. Plus we can always just use this, and easily just take care of most of these foes. And we can do stuff like this and take care of the Crystal Joes by just using... Oh. Okay, and it respawned and despawned. Ah, well, a bit too close there, but it's fine. Oh, and this is the last spike segment, I suppose. If I can't pass it, well, I'll just teleport directly to the boss. I wasn't able to make it, so I'll just fast forward through this one how you're supposed to do it. It's really the precision of the spikes at the edges that causes me problems, and no end of grief. And considering how long it is, yeah, I wouldn't be able to make it across. Oh, and there's the boss fight against Napalm Man, so I'll just place Mega Man here and officially complete the stage. My apologies, level creator, but I physically can't do it and I at least want to fight the boss. I'll still chalk this up to being me not being able to complete the stage, but I'll at least try to show off as much of the stage as possible. So at least I was able to show it off using the editor, but even then, still. This stage is more geared for players who are more into precision platforming games and are really Mega Man experts. Me, I'm not that one. Alright, let's try the next level, I suppose. Alright, the fifth stage is simply titled Metal by BL98765 with 10 plays and a score of 4. And Metal Man's the boss. Let's see what this stage has to offer. Especially considering what happened in the previous stage and it being way too difficult for my taste. But I suppose that was going to eventually happen. But I was hoping that would happen in another part. Maybe it would be better if this game actually had categories to illustrate how difficult the stage is. Or perhaps include something from Mario Maker and show the success rate for the people. aka the number of plays versus the number of people who beat the stage. Okay, we're going to Metal Man stage. I see. Well, that's one way of avoiding fighting all those Sniper Joes. But really, the previous challenge would have been a lot last stage would be a lot easier if, of course, the spike hitboxes were a bit more precise. Let's take the left route and see what... Okay, it's just an E-tank. There was no way I was going to make the jump without the charge kick, and I don't have that. Well, some could, but I'm not really good at these jumps where the ceiling is just one tile high. Oh, spike challenges. I held down the A button, didn't take. And here's the boss fight. Sorry I was silent there. Of course it's the magnet missile. I'm just gonna use that and quickly finish off this boss fight. And there we have it. It was a simple stage and the only difficulty was just that, well, segment with the spikes in the ceiling. I liked it. It was simple. Let's try one more stage and then I'll end off this part. So the last stage is Titanite Tower by Mixsup. Oh, another stage by Mixsup. I quite enjoyed his previous one, so I'm looking forward to this one. This seems like another tower stage. Let's see if it goes upwards. Oh no. I remember only ladders can take you upwards in this game. But really liking the challenge progression, it isn't too hard either. Plus if we do get stuck, we also have uses of rush coil if we really want to. I don't really see any alternate pathways, just solid platforming and enemy placement. Just need to be quick over there so we can get across. Whoa, I was going to take a hit there. I went a bit too fast. And the platform left without me. Let me just wait for the fireballs to stop and go down here. Solid level progression, and it's not too bad, especially considering what happened 2 stages ago. Oh, not okay, a Yoku block segment. Which I'm going to mostly circumvent by just using the charge kick. Glad they allowed me to do that. I need to get through both ways if I want to actually access that. I'm just going to use rush coil to get up here. Wow, you can be telefragged by the yoga blocks. I didn't realize that was possible. I thought it's going to shunt you out like in most other Mega Man games, but here it just straight up kills you. let's try this challenge again, shall we? Hopefully with less debt. Now hopefully I don't get shunted into the ground again, once again. Oh, I can't get across that way. Oh, phew, that was close. Oh, I see, I need to get out on the other side in order to... I need to blow up all those junk blocks, though. At least the challenge isn't too difficult. Oh, and I just walked off there. There we go. I took the upper route, and that was a fine challenge. Good thing I left that one upwards, so I can actually get across. And there's a checkpoint here placed cleverly, so I don't need to repeat that entire segment all over. This is certainly more difficult than the Nightman's Tower, mainly due to the increased usage of instant debt, but I don't mind it too much. It's not as bad as the vertical ascent. Another Yoku block segment. Just be careful not to be telefragged. I think I'm gonna have to fall back down here in order to get across. Or on second thoughts, I'll just skip that entire segment and just go past the other way. If I only had a stronger weapon that could use to destroy it. Other than the NATO, of course. Probably the other pathway leads to some extra goodies, but I don't really need them now. And I guess this is the end of the stage. Pretty nice stage, although I like the Nightman's Ascent or Tower fight more than this one. Okay, we have to fight Cutman and all of these Sparkman platforms, making this a little bit more of a challenging fight, especially if Cutman decides to jump. And especially because it can jump quite high. And there we have it. That was the end of this Titanite Tower. It was certainly like climbing up a tower, and the second half was certainly more challenging than the first half, but the difficulty progression was pretty nice, and the internet spikes were a little bit less lightly overused, or less lightly used near the beginning. They were nicely sprinkled in and were fun to go through. So out of the two levels, I liked Boyoyon Badlands a little bit more, but it was fun. Also, sorry for misidentifying you. I thought you created Nightman's Tower, but no, you created the Badlands stage, aka the first stage I played in this part, which both of them I enjoyed, although I liked the Boyoyon Badlands more so because of all the springs. This was certainly a different type of part. I got one really tough stage that ended up taking over 20 minutes off screen, and I had to mostly cut it down. That being, of course, Nightman's the Ascending Tower, or vertical scrolling level. Like I said, I really don't like playing those types of stages nowadays. I really like the less precise stages. I'm better at timing more than precision platforming. Or, I mean the other way around, basically. But still, I won't downvote it because other people may play it, and I think it's well designed, I suppose. It's just not for me. So, in the next part, I'll be trying out some levels that have been shared in the official subreddit's level sharing thread. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!